The squirrel was magic! Beware your human heart. This is a Diabolical Index for Monday, August something. What is it, 22nd? Yes, August 22nd, 2019, where the pages of the Uncanny reside. This is Corey Dawson, as always, from Moreland Manor, the library at Moreland Manor. And I have to say, beware of going on the internet looking at the fandom of Choose Your Own Adventures, Goosebumps, Reader Beware. You choose the scare. It'll tell you everything if you're not careful. And I tuned out, quick enough that it didn't spoil anything for me. But it's really weird how comfortable they are with kind of like giving you all the good routes and giving you all the moves that'll put you. I don't know. They say like good ending, bad ending. I don't know if that means that one is more gruesome than the other one, or one is more exciting or happier or what. I dropped it because, I don't rock with it that way. It's got to be... I don't want to do anything that would kind of influence the ending. But I did find out that the book came out the year I graduated. So have fun guessing whenever that was. But yes, Goosebumps, Reader Beware, You Choose a Scare, number 3. Trapped in Batwing Hall is the one we're going over today. You got book cam for me?
It's not really book cam anymore. It's like a different angle.
Whatever.
There you go.
He's correcting me already. The indomitable Andrew telling me that book cams don't exist. It's just coming from a different place. But that's normal. Yes, and thanks to Josh DeForge, as always. Oh, what's one? That one. Okay. Josh DeForge, thanks so much for sending number 3 out to me. Came in a care package with a bunch of other zines and cool punky stuff, and a t-shirt. Totally awesome. I think Mel might have already stolen that. I'm not even sure. So, yes. Number 3. Before I get into that, though, something really, really super cool is coming up in a matter of hours. And if it's anything like the first one that we administered, that's the only word I can use, to the public, it should be a good time, multiplied at least 3 times. We've got practically every jock from every Magic Scroll Network program coming out to Legends Bar and Venue in Cheviot, 8 p.m. tomorrow night. It's going to be a Choose Your Own Adventure, live Choose Your Own Adventure, and I don't even want to think about what the implications of what's going to happen. I can't even imagine. We're going to have Ashley Zombie there, Tyler from Caffeine and Kush, Miguel from VTN. Oh my God. Juice in the Morning. I'm forgetting a bunch of people. But everyone's going to be there. Pointless Paul, Mark. There could be all kinds of surprise guests. Apparently there's a lady from the Huron Playhouse coming out. I'm not sure. I don't know if she'll get in the act or not. Or is it Huron or Heron? I can't remember now. She knows who she is. But definitely come out to Legends Bar and Venue to see all your favorite Magic Squirrel hosts come out to do a night of improv in the vein of Choose Your Own Adventure, made up on the spot by bar goers. Miguel from VTN, Deadman from VTN, is going to be out in force as our narrator. I will be on the front lines this time. Last time, at the Kettle Top, I was kind of puppet mastering the show and leading people through like I do on this. But not this time. Who knows who I'm going to be? How many different kind of people, creatures? God only knows. So, it's tomorrow night, 8 o'clock at Legends Bar and Venue in Cheviot. I believe it's Hamilton Avenue. I'm not reading it. Harrison Avenue. Yes, August 23rd. I'm reading directly off of the thing. An improvised story. Hey, I got most of it. Without doing that. So yeah, that's going on tomorrow night, and don't you dare miss it. I wanted to say thank you to everybody showing up today. There were so many people, I don't even remember all the names. Stevens, nice to meet you. I'm not sure if you've been out quite yet, but thank you for stopping by. Pointless Paul. I saw Ashley Zombie, Emily from Black Books. Josh Forge was here. I'm not sure if he's still here or not, but hopefully got the thank you message about the book coming in. And definitely check out his peeps, Running Scare Motion Pictures. They make wonderful, wonderful films, short or otherwise. Definitely check him out. He is no man. He just recently did one called Don't Crack Your Coconut. It totally, I was on the floor laughing about that one. Some people said that I found it a little, I found it too funny. More funny than it was. I disagree. I thought it was a blast. But, yeah, so I know Tyler's around here somewhere too, and Stu and Natalie. So thanks to everybody for showing up. I can't even tell you how pumped I am about the Black Books crew, aka Mask of the Red Death book club, out of Fairborn, Ohio. They're having me out September 12th for John Dies at the End, and I can't even tell you how pumped I am about that one. It's by David Wong. He used to be he might still. I doubt it though. They got rid of a lot of their writing staff and a lot of their production staff, and they had a gigantic culling not too long ago, and I was pretty pissed about it actually. They had a couple of shows that I watched religiously, After Hours being one of them, and Obsessive Pop Culture Disorder. I'm not so sure that either one of those are there anymore, or if they are, I think they have new casts. But I think he used to work for Cracked, and of course the book came out, and almost immediately the movie came out, and the movie is beyond description. It was done by Don Coscarelli, the guy who did Phantasm, and Bubba Hotep. And the movie is fantastic, and the book has not disappointed. I usually try to do it in that order. I watch the movie and then try out the book because as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of contention to this. As far as I'm concerned, you watch the movie first. It comes in like this compact little package, and you have faces to the names, and you have like a little bit of an idea of what's going on. Sometimes they mix characters. Sometimes they change places, all that kind of jazz. But you have like a working knowledge, like a little semaphore, a little shorthand of what's going to happen in the book. And then when you read the book, then you add your own imagination to the mix, and there are a lot of things that aren't explained that your brain takes care of, and it increases the scope of what you're experiencing. So I like to do it in that order. And in this case, I've already seen the movie multiple times, and this will be the first time. I bought the book pretty quickly after watching the movie, but I hadn't gotten around to reading it yet because, as you can imagine, I have a humongous to-be-read pile. So I just hadn't gotten to it yet. And in this case, they've actually provided, the Black Books crew, they've provided a couple of opportunities for me to read books that I've always wanted to read for the little gatherings. So I couldn't be more pumped about this, and I have so much time in between then and now to savor it and just to go through every little piece of it and just pick it apart. I cannot wait for that discussion. That is going to be something else. But tonight, discussion is on R.L. Stine's Goosebumps, Read Everywhere, You Choose a Scare, Trapped in Batwing Hall, number 3. And so, wait, actually, I almost forgot one thing. Ghostbuster cards. You guys better show me your brains tonight, your psychic feelings, as you try to see the image in my head. The symbol just twirling in on itself, becoming, fifth dimensional construct, going on into infinity, kaleidoscopic, swirling cosmos that we keep inside of our brains at all times. See if you can see what I see. Yes, I can feel all your brains out there. Okay. So, on to backcountry. Beware. Do not read this book from beginning to end. Making friends in your new town is harder than you thought. The kids in your school are members of the horror club. That's kind of reminiscent of Brain Scan and of the Monster Squad. Let's see. Oh my god. Wow. They're really going after it. Pyramid, square, wavy lines. Rodman, Steve, Emily. Okay. They have their meetings after dark in Batwing Hall, a rundown house that's haunted by the ghost of Professor Krupnik. When the horror club decides to play a spooky game, you really want to join in, but then you find out that you have to search the professor's cursed crypt in the cemetery, or finch an ancient mummy, a witch, or a hungry werewolf. Wow, there's a lot more of this than I expected. I thought this was just going to be like a bat cave. Pretty wild. Or the terrifying ghost of Professor Krupnik himself before the night is through. You're in control of this scary adventure. You are, not me. You. You decide what will happen. And you decide how terrifying the scares will be. Start on page 1. Then follow the instructions at the bottom of each page. Then you make the choices. If you make the right ones, you'll have a really cool adventure. If you make the wrong ones, beware. So take a deep breath, cross your fingers, and turn to page 1 to give yourself goosebumps. This town stinks. It's Friday afternoon, the end of your first week at your new school. Your family just moved into town last month. And so far, no one in the school has even tried to be your friend. Day after day, you sit in class waiting for someone to talk to you. Waiting and staring at all the strange faces around you. How can you possibly go through the year without any friends? You wonder this. You're cool. You know you are. You had tons of friends at your old school. You trudge home slowly. All you have to do is look forward to a boring weekend of watching TV with your parents and your bratty little brother. Oh my god, here we go with the bratty brothers again. Then something hits the back of your stone-washed jacket. It's not stone-washed. I'm making that up. But hey, I had a stone-washed jacket when I was a kid. Ask me about how it saved my life some other time. You whirl around. A pebble drops onto the ground. You glance up and notice a brown-haired boy about your own age. Hi, he calls out. I'm Nick. That's the way people usually make friends. Hi, you reply and introduce yourself. We're in the same class at school, Nick says. That's funny, you think. You don't remember seeing him there, but you smile anyway. You're so happy someone's finally talking to you. I live there, Nick tells you. He points to a 2-story green house on the next block. You gaze back at him, shocked. But you can't live there, you exclaim. There's no way! Go to page 2. What do you mean you can't live there? Nick asks, laughing. I know my own house. I live next door, you tell him. You point to the red brick house next to the green one. The greenhouse has been empty all month. There hasn't been any lights on. No cars in the driveway. What's up? This guy is like nosy as hell. I was on vacation with my family. We got back last night, Nick said. What do you think of school? Okay, I guess, you reply. You're afraid to say anything more. You never know. Maybe this kid, Nick, actually likes school. So it seems like you, which is to say that, the member of this book without a name, I guess that you would turn this guy away if he actually liked school? That's what I'm getting. Can you believe how much homework our teacher gave us this weekend? Nick complains. He kicks a stone down the street as you walk. Oh, he's kicking rocks. Already kicking rocks. All the kids who had Mr. McCormick last year say he's really tough and mean. A total monster. You agree. Next thing you know, you and Nick are comparing favorite rock groups and comic books. Both of you collect Spider-Man comics. Nick has all the first issues from the last 5 years, too. That's a confusing sentence. I guess he means the first issues from a bunch of different comics. Comics are cool, Nick says. But you know what's even cooler? What, you ask? Horror stories, Nick says. In fact, He stops talking and stares at you. What? What about horror stories? It's probably way too scary for you, Nick replies. Nothing's too scary for me, you boast. That's because you've never been to the horror club, Nick says. Wow. What's that? Nick grins. It's a club I belong to. You gotta be really brave to be a member. When we meet, we tell spooky stories. Really scary. Cool, you reply. I love scary stories. Can I join? If you think you can handle it, Nick says. We meet every Friday night at Batwing Hall. That's the deserted house at the end of our street. It was old Professor Krupnik's house. I've seen the house. It looks haunted, you tell Nick with a laugh. Don't laugh, he warns you. It is haunted. Turn to page 100. Ooh, big leaps forward like that. That usually means some good stuff. Haunted? For real, you ask? For real, Nick replies seriously. That's why we picked it. Some of the scariest stories I ever heard happened in Batwing Hall. Like what? Like the story of the kids on Halloween night, Nick says. They were all dressed up, trick-or-treating. They rang Krupnik's doorbell. A figure dressed all in black answered, and the kids were invited inside, and they never came out. What happened, you ask breathlessly. Nobody knows, Nick replies, but late at night you can still hear the kids' screams. Horrible screams. When the moon is full, some people say they've seen little creatures in monster costumes roaming about inside the house. Trapped forever. Wow, great story, you say. It's not a story, Nick tells you. Being a member of the horror club can be dangerous. Very dangerous. He pauses, then adds, Today is Friday. We meet tonight. Do you want to come? What do you think? This is a stupid question. But it's been asked, so there we go. Risk it and go to the horror club tonight. Turn to page 17. Say thanks anyway and go to page 91.
Why is it doing that?
Doing what? Oh, sorry. He didn't ask me anything.
I'm going to switch to the other camera.
Okay, let's see here. Is this about dating? No kidding, right? I mean, it seems like that's exactly how I came into Black Books, but... Ooh, yeah, Josh, The Boys. I have to say that I was kind of late getting to The Boys I'd known that it existed. I hadn't read any of the comics, but the show, the Amazon show, is just awesome. Okay, so let's see. Did anyone pick The Star? Somebody did, I think. Can't remember who it was, though. Donovan, what's up, dude? Long time no see. Risk it for the Biscottis. Horror Club, Horror Club, Horror Club, Horror Club. I knew that was a stupid request there. Where's the Golden Straight for Horror Club? 17. It's silly to wait around. I mean, everybody's going to go for the Horror Club. Let's see here.
Okay, I think I fixed it. I think it was just too bad.
The Horror Club sounds great, you tell Nick. Count me in. I'll meet you in front of your house at 9 o'clock tonight, Nick says. You agree and say goodbye. Maybe for the last time. Then you rush into your kitchen to find your parents. You tell them you made a friend, and you invited to a club meeting. They're so happy for you. Of course, you don't tell them the meeting is in a deserted, boarded-up old house. 9 o'clock, you join Nick under the elm tree in your front yard. A skinny, fidgety girl with messy, long, dark hair waits with Nick. This is starting to sound like Hogwarts. This is Debbie, he tells you. She's a member of the club, too. Hi, Debbie says. You can barely see her face under all with thick hair. She always seems to be squirming about. You wonder what's wrong with this strange girl. You follow your new friends up to the hill to the end of the long, dark street. The farther you go, the fewer houses there are. At the end of the road, all the street lights are out. The sky is pitch black. If it weren't for Nick's flashlight, you'd probably trip over your own feet. There it is, Nick said, pointing. Batwing Hall. Turn to page 96. Well, Mr. Gully? Yeah, horror. I tend to say horror. So it does have the ring of a group of prostitutes. I have not seen The Color of Magic. I guess unless there was another version of it, the one that I seen existed had. I wasn't quite sure about the cast or the casting, so I haven't tried it out yet. But I want to. I need to get into those books. I didn't start because there were so many, and I hadn't started at the beginning with my collecting of the books. So Pratchett, I had A Color of Magic somewhere, but I thought that I had sold it, and then I had found a few of the series here and there, and I just haven't started because you have to start at the beginning and have, once you start at 1, you have to have 2 and 3 or else you're screwed. Okay. Wait, did I say 96? Sorry, I got off on a tangent. Oh, I think it's 96. A huge dark shadow looms at the end of the street. It's the mansion. You stop walking and gaze up to it. Nick shines his flashlight at the old house on the hill. Batwing Hall is a 2-story old-fashioned house. All the windows that aren't boarded up are broken. Loose shingles flap from the roof. Paint peels from the weathered sides of the house. It looks as if no one has lived there for hundreds of years. You climb to the sagging porch with Nick and Debbie. Tall, overgrown trees with bushes cast eerie shadows across the deserted lawn. Isn't this place awesome? Debbie whispers to you. Really cool, you agree. This house has been empty for 2 years, Nick tells you, ever since crazy old Professor Krupnik died. No one buy it because it's haunted, Debbie explains. You know she's chewing nervously at the ends of her long hair. Ugh. The front door was boarded up until we figured out how to pry it open. Probably with a hammer. Crowbar. God knows. Debbie says. She points at the large wooden door. Let's go. You take a step forward. Stop, Nick shouts. Get down now! If you do as Nick says, hurry to page 19. If you ignore him and head for the door, go to page 85. Okay. So let's see here. Yeah, when I saw that hair chewer thing, I've heard a bunch of different urban legends about gigantic balls of hair in people's stomachs and whatnot. But speaking of hair, this ought to be a hair-raising experience. being inside my mind even for a second. To root around in there like a root cellar or a palace where thoughts go to die. See if you can't find it. The symbol I'm looking for. Think deeply. See it whirling around. All right. 85, 19, duck. 19. Ha! Square 19. Ooh, Tom's getting on the action. Pyramid. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Let's see. It's looking to me like we're doing as Nick says. 19.
Only one person said something?
What's that now?
We only have one person vote?
Oh, I thought I saw a few.
Oh, okay.
19, 19, Doug, 85. Yeah, I got one from Stu about 85. Let's see. 80 or 19. We're going to 19. 19, I say. What is it? You cry as your body hits the ground. We got to be careful, Nick says. If anyone catches us going in the front door, we could be in big trouble. We're not really allowed in here. I like how dramatic he was about it. It's like, let's walk up to the front door and hit the deck. You nod and watch Debbie as she squirms and glances around nervously. You wonder why your new friends are so jumpy. You can't imagine how anyone could possibly see you in the darkness, but you figure Nick and Debbie know what they're doing. You wonder why You stand and follow Nick and Debbie across the porch. Keeping as quiet as possible, you break off the broken boards, or you pull off the broken boards in the front door. Then you enter the dark house. The air in the entryway is stale and dusty. You hold back a sneeze, and Nick motions for you to follow him. You creep after Nick and Debbie down a dark hallway. The floorboards creak loudly with each step. You then enter a big, dimly lit living room. A broken chandelier sways from the ceiling. The faded wallpaper hangs in pieces from the walls, and dirty sheets cover what appear to be old sofas and chairs. And then you see them. Turn to page 75. Meh, meh, meh. 4 kids sit in a circle on the living room floor. A big yellow candle flickers in the center. They all turn and stare at you. No one seems happy to see you. You stand awkwardly as Nick introduces you and says, "This is our new member." "What are you talking about?" cries a girl with short, curly red hair. She glares at you. "I brought a new member to the horror club," Nick repeats. "Not today," exclaims a large boy with bulging arm muscles. "Why not?" Debbie asks, squirming next to you. "Didn't anyone tell you?" asks another girl. "Tonight's the special night. You gotta get that kid out of here. We're not telling stories tonight. The plan has changed." Discover what's happening tonight on page 128. Yeah, this muscular kid is interesting. Nick and Debbie quickly leave your side and huddle together with the other kids. You can hear them arguing about you. Then one voice rises above the others. "But today is game day. You know what that means." "I don't," you suddenly call out. You're sick of standing there. You want to know what's going on. It works. All 6 kids stop arguing. The girl with the red hair steps towards you. "I'm Marcy," she tells you. "There are no stories tonight. We're playing games instead. But new members can't play. It's the rule." "Can't you just break the rules just this one time?"
Look at me!
"These aren't ordinary games," warns the boy with the large muscles. "These games are scary. Really scary." "The scarier the better," you announce bravely. This starts another argument. Some kids want you to stay and play, and others want you to leave. Debbie hurries over to your side. Through her mane of dark hair, she whispers, "Go home. Go home now." But at that moment, Marcy announces, "It's decided. You can stay and play games with us." "Great," you say, ignoring Debbie. "What are we playing?" Learn about the games on page 66. It kind of makes you wonder what kind of game it is and how the ratio goes within this little group. Ugh, hard bukkake night. Ectoplasm all over the place. The game is called The Hunt, Marcy tells you. I am captain of the blue team. Nick is captain of the red team. You watch as Nick picks Debbie and a skinny boy named Connor to be on his team. Connor has short bristly hair and a very strange smell. As Connor walks by, you decide he smells as if he's been lying in a dumpster. For the blue team, Marcy chooses a beautiful girl with long blonde hair and green eyes. Her name is Laura. She smiles shyly at you. Marcy also picks the guy in the muscle shirt. Hi, I'm Martin, the kid says, pounding you on the back. Welcome to the horror club. He laughs and flexes his muscles. You step back. Martin's arm is bigger than your whole body. Been there. Nah, not quite. Very things are as big as my whole body. That's 3 on each team, Marcy announces. Our new member can join either one. She turns to you. It's up to you. Which team will you join? Would you rather hang out with Nick, Debbie, and Connor on the red team, otherwise known as the 2 people you came with and this little scrawny guy, or get to know Laura, Marcy, and Martin on the blue team? Huge amount of competition here, and these people didn't like you to begin with. Join the red team. Turn to page 88. Blue team, turn to page 33. Front and center or to the side? Couple wavy lines. I think Emily got that one. Let's see here. Go with Team Blue. It has the babe. Well, makes sense. Team Red for Josh DeForge. Let's see. Red team go. Red team go. Wow. I think everybody's sticking with their own here. But step on in. Enter my mind palace. Don't trip over that. There's a stack of books. There are a lot of those around here. But as you're looking around, see if you can decipher the symbol that's floating through the air, bouncing off the inner walls of my mind. If you can reach it, if you can climb inside, it might be eye-opening for you. Okay. Let's see. Not Team Hair Chewer. Blue. Red. Not Team Hair Chewer. Okay, so...
Is this page 17?
What's that?
Is this page 17?
No. Why do you say that?
I looked at every single direction you can go, and 17 was like on every single one.
Oh. Haven't gotten there yet. So... Plus sign, an eye, triangle. Alright, well, looks like we're going to the red team. Bill the Butcher. I choose the red team, you announce. Fine, Marcy says. The red team will stay in the house for the games. The blue team will go outside. See you later, alligator. Marcy, Laura, and Martin leaves the house. You turn to your new teammates with a smile. You're looking forward to these games. I'm glad you're on our team, Nick says. We're having a scavenger hunt. Everything has to be found inside the house. Cool, you reply. I love scavenger hunts. Where's the list? Here it is, Debbie says, handing you a piece of white paper. You read the list of items out loud. Oh, damn, this is good. Horror Club Scavenger Hunt. 1 human bone. 3 hairs from a werewolf. A straw from a witch's broom. And a piece from a mummy's bandage. Go to page 79. I'm digging this scavenger hunt. Pip pip cheerio. Yeah, it's hard not to. You read the list again. You start to laugh. These guys really take this horror club stuff seriously, you think. Still laughing, you point to the list and say, great joke, man. Really funny. Why are you laughing? Connor demands. This list, it's a riot, you reply. You wonder why no one else has even cracked a smile. It's not a joke, Nick insists. That's the list for our scavenger hunt. Give me a break, you say. You expect me to believe that? Where would I find these things? In this house, Debbie replies matter-of-factly. Yeah, right, you scoff. I'm supposed to believe that there are really werewolves, witches, and mummy? It's true, Connor says. I'm not sure about that one. There are too many kids here. Do you want me to prove it? Nick asks with an evil grin. A very evil grin. What is Nick up to? Turn to page 47. You're about to get pantsed. I thought it was already there.
Yes.
Okay, you said. Go ahead. You asked for it, Nick says. He glances at Debbie and Connor. They nod with excitement. What's going on, you wonder? Slowly, Nick brings his hands up to his cheeks. He hooks his thumb under his chin and rips his face right off. Oh my God. Yes! Sorry, I gotta get a drink for that one. Oh my God. You gasp. The head of a green-skinned reptilian monster stares out at you from the top of Nick's body. Slimy scales cover his face and begin to spread down his arms and hands. Nick, you choke out. The monster grins at you with 6-inch-long fangs. Its beady yellow eyes gaze at you hungrily. You turn to Debbie and Connor and scream. They're peeling off their kid faces too! You gape in horror at Debbie. Your skin is now purple and covered with hideous, oozing warts. Her eyes have turned completely white and seem to bulge out of her head, and her hair, it's wriggling with enormous black tarantulas. Now you know the truth. These kids are monsters. What next? 114. Oh, man. No matter what happens after this, this is already leaps and bounds better than that last one we did. It was really surprising because these Goosebumps books have been pretty damn awesome so far.
The other one was like 30 though, so I think that they.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, since it's number 3, you know the scares are great.
The internet gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So.
You turn and sprint from the front door, but the entrance is blocked by Connor, who grabs your shoulder, and you nervously stare at him way up. Connor has turned into a 7-foot-tall giant with one red eye in the middle of his forehead, and the stench coming off his body is unbearable. Where are you gone? He growls. I need to go home, you mumble. You duck under Connor's massive arm and lunge for the doorknob, and miss. The monster that used to be Nick beat you to it. Nick locks the door and says, Not so fast. It's time for the scavenger hunt. Scavenger hunt? There's no way you're sticking around to play a game with monsters. Unless this is all a joke. That's it, you think. It's all a joke. They must be wearing monster costumes, which of course means they wore human costumes over their monster costumes over their human bodies. No, you think again. They can't be wearing costumes. They're way too real looking. Quick, you have to make up your mind. If you're sure it's all a joke, go to page 13. If you believe the monsters are real, go to page 71. Holy shite! That really surprised me. I love it when these things come out of left field like that. Speaking of left field, plus sign. Add yourself to the psychics. Do you think it's a joke, or do you believe that not all monsters are real, but at least these monsters are real? 71. 71, why not, he says. I mean, holy shit, they tore their faces off. That was wild. Completely unexpected. Ah, Mr. Gully. Devil's Advocate. 71. All right, we're going to 71.
Can you do another card?
I'll do it next time. You stare at Nick, Debbie, and Connor's gruesome faces. It's no question they're monsters. Real monsters. Let me out of here, you cry. Nick still blocks the door. You spot a window in the living room. You take a deep breath and race for it. You're fast. You always win the 50-yard dash at school, but against these monsters, you're not nearly fast enough. Debbie easily beats you to the window. The tarantulas scurry through her spiderweb hair as she cackles. There's no way out! Please let me go home, you plead. I won't tell anyone your secret. Just let me go. No way, Nick cries as he enters the living room with Connor. There's no escape from the horror club. Well, Debbie says, that's not exactly true. There is one way out. You gaze around the room, searching frantically for an exit. The three monsters circle you. You don't see any way past them. Where is it? He says. How do I get out? Or you say. Nick glares at Debbie. Your only hope, Debbie says, ignoring Nick, is to play the game. Go to page 48. Human bone, they're going to cut your leg off. What game? You ask Debbie, your voice trembling. The Scavenger Hunt, she declares. If you can find all 4 items on the list before midnight, Nick adds, then we'll let you go. If you fail, you'll be trapped here with us forever and turned into a monster. Not much of a choice, huh? If you know that you could become a monster, I guess it all depends, really. If you're going to turn into that big ball of oozing warts, that wouldn't be cool, but like a giant, pretty slick, or like an amphibious creature, be something to think about, especially like if you were looking at like middle school. You could end up with powers, who knows? Your knees shake as you review the Scavenger Hunt list in your mind. Where would you ever find werewolf hair and mummy bandages? Then again, you don't have many options. But maybe, you think, you can use the time to search for an open window and escape. You've only got 2 hours, Connor growls, looking at a tiny watch on his huge wrist. You better get started. You can begin here on the main floor or go upstairs, Nick tells you, his reptile tongue darting in and out of his mouth. It's your choice. Stay on the main floor, turn to page 11. Try your luck upstairs, go to page 111. Ooh, 111 years old. Oh yes, oh yes. Perils many, dangers abound. Can you read my mind? Can you picture the things I'm thinking of? I guess that's a Superman song, but anyway. See a symbol swirling around in my head. There it is. No, it's over there. Now it's under your feet. Can you see it in your mind? I'm looking at it in my mind's eye right now. Read my mind. Okay. 111. Oh, sorry. Steven said 11. Equal sign, circle.
Hello.
If he'd stay with the babe, he'd have a human bone going. Never know. Unless Martin would, like, beat your ass. He points at the camera and he never points. What? Okay. 111, please. 111. 111, you say. Stay on the main floor, turn to page 11. Try your luck upstairs, go to page 111. I'll hang around for a couple of seconds because Andrew stepped out. Yeah. Hopefully, I know that a lot of the people who have stepped in tonight are going to be out at Legends Bar tomorrow night. And if any of you feel the need and you want to get up on stage, just let us know. It'll probably be the more the merrier situation. The last time we were it was sparse. The amount of people we had to work with was sparse last time, and it's going to be the exact opposite this time. We're going to be overflowing with people. So 111 it is. We're trying our luck upstairs. Upstairs, you tell the monsters. I'll search there first. Connor begins laughing, a low, deep laugh. Did I hear that? He tells the others. Upstairs, this should be good. Have you made the wrong choice? You wonder. It doesn't matter. You have to do something. You cross your fingers that there may be a way to escape that is a classic mistake. Classic mistake. Victims are always running to the top floor, and the only thing you got is a window. I mean, what the hell? You escape upstairs, way out of the House of Horrors. You head toward the main staircase in the front hall. There's no electricity in the old mansion. Your shadow flickers in the spooky light of kerosene lanterns. I can smell that right now. Debbie follows close behind you. You pick up your pace, just in case one of those huge tarantulas decide to jump from her hair to yours. The stairs are covered with a thick layer of dust. Slowly you start to climb. One step, then another. The wooden boards creak and groan under your weight. The staircase stretches upward into total darkness. Behind you, the three monsters noisily whisper to each other. You don't know what they're saying, and you don't care. You just want to get out of here now. You take a deep breath. It's time. Time to escape! You sprint forward. Run to page 28. Defenestration. I was so happy when I found out what that word meant. Before you go too far, you feel a strange tingling sensation all over your body. But you don't have time to worry about it. You must escape. The monsters are gaining on you. You fly up the stairs now, 2 steps at a time. And then you stop. The tingling is getting worse. Keep going, you say to yourself. You got to keep going. The monsters are only a few steps behind. You try to run, but you can't. Something's wrong. You're stuck in the middle of the staircase. You can't move up. Your legs are paralyzed. Nick, Debbie, and Connor close in on you. Connor's odor makes you gag, but you're trapped, frozen in place. Need some help? Nick asks with an evil snicker. If you accept the monster's help, go to page 51. If you refuse, go to page 61. I think he had a really good idea of where he was going with this. He's doing a lot of number play here. Speaking of number play, the hell? Wow, that was crazy. Yeah, I didn't think that I was imagining that. It was 2 in a row.
This game is fixed.
3 51s. 51, 51, 51. 51. Wow. Always take monsters' help, motherfucker. 51. All right, going to page 51. Yes, help, you cry, still frozen in place. Then you hear Connor's deep rumbling laughter. You fell for it. You fell for our trick, he taunts. What trick, you ask? The force field. You're trapped in a force field, Connor tells you. Debbie and Nick laugh along with him. Force field, you exclaim. Turn it off. Let me out of here.
Sorry, Nick says with a reptile-like hiss. You can't escape from Batwing Hall.
That's right, Debbie sneers. The force field doesn't turn off until 1 minute after midnight.
That's 1 minute after you've turned into a monster,
Connor leers. Then the monsters lumber down the stairs, leaving you alone, trapped in the force field. You glance at your watch. Time is ticking away. You struggle trying to break through, but you can't budge. You're stuck. Stuck until midnight. Until it's time. Time for a monster of a change. The end. 11:14. Okay, everybody. I wanted to get out a little bit earlier tonight, but I think maybe one decision might change things. Why don't we go to 11 and see what happens? That was our last little move. That was between going upstairs. Was that between upstairs and out the front door? Yeah. I'm going to search the main floor, you tell the monsters.
Lots of luck,
Nick sneers. You glance around the dark, creepy mansion. You know escape is going to be tough. You decide you'll do the scavenger hunt. You'll play along with the monsters, but still search for a way out. Either way, you promise yourself you won't let them turn you into a monster. You search the living room first. A curtain of cobwebs dangles from the ceiling. You have to part them to search the room. Yuck! The only furniture in the room is an old sofa with 2 overstuffed chairs. You lift the cushions to search for the creepy things on the list. Could there really be a human bone under there, you wonder? You nearly choke from the flying dust, but no bone. You peer under the furniture. Nothing. Then Connor sneaks up on you. He kicks a dust ball in your face.
The clock is ticking,
he booms. You stare up at his one bloodshot eye and escape into the next room. It's an old-fashioned dining room. A long wooden table stands in the middle of the room. As you step towards the table, something black and hairy jumps out at you. Turn to page 97. is a huge black rat, and it scurries across your sneaker. You jump back and scream. You can hear the rat's sharp claws scratch across the floorboards as it disappears in the living room. You wonder what other gross creatures are crawling around this house. You decide to head into the kitchen. Clump, clump, clump. You can hear Nick, Debbie, and Connor following you.
If you're afraid of a little rat,
Nick hisses in your ear.
then you're going to be in big trouble later. Big trouble.
You try to ignore Nick, even though your knees shake at his warning. You spot a kerosene lamp on the kitchen table. You pick it up so you can see into the dark corners of the kitchen better. The kitchen is filled with cupboards, closets, and shelves. Anything can be hidden here. You pull open drawer after drawer. Clouds of dust make your eyes itch. But then in the next drawer you open, you see them. Bandages. But are these mummies' bandages? You hope they are, shoving several in your pocket. One item off the list, you think. Then a hideous scream cuts through the air. Turn to page 12. This is action-packed. Could it be a human scream? You've never heard a human scream sound like that. You whirl around in the direction of the scream. Debbie. Debbie is the one screaming. No! She shrieks again and hurries over to you. Can't you read? Debbie cries. The warts on her face ooze green goo. This is not what you want. These aren't mummy bandages. Debbie snatches the bandages from your pockets and tosses them on the floor. Don't waste time, she cries. I guess she kind of sounds like she's a little bit sympathetic to his plight here. You step back and try to think. There's no way to escape from the kitchen. Connor is guarding the doors and Nick's by the window. You have to find the items on this list. You gaze around and then head for a tall, narrow closet and freeze in horror. A thick pool of something red and sticky is seeping underneath the door. It looks like blood. What do you do now? To open the closet door, turn to page 83. To go back and check the dining room again, turn to page 78. Debbie shrieks through mouthfuls of chewed hair. Oh, God. To open the closet door, turn to page 83. To go back and check the dining room again, turn to page 78. Okay. Probably one last card here. One last card through the ether. Let's see if you can pick up the vibrations of this shape as I cast it across my skull's galaxy. You see it undulating on the brainwaves. You see it getting caught in the dusty corners. It's a symbol. It can only mean one thing. And I can see it right now. I see a shape forming out of the darkness with my eyes closed. Okay. Okay, everybody. Let's see. 78, 83, 83, 83, 78. Okay. We are opening the closet door. Your heart thuds as you approach the closet door. A pool of blood grows larger on the floor. Slowly you pull the door open and gasp. There's no dead body in the closet, no dead anything. Only a broken jar. A jar of raspberry jam dripping onto the floor. Damn it, Goosebumps! You sigh with relief and explore the closet further. The shelves are crammed with rusty cans of vegetables and moldy sacks of flour. You quickly search all the shelves but find nothing. Then you spot it. A plastic shoebox on the bottom shelf. You reach down and open it. You can't believe your eyes. Nestled in the center of the box on a dark piece of cloth is the skeleton of a human hand. Oh, gross, you moan. You try not to wonder whose hand it was and how it got into this box. I find that his response a little bit silly at this point. He's seen monsters running around, and he needs this damn bone to get the hell out of the house without becoming one himself. You found our skeleton in the closet, Debbie sings out. You nod. You're glad you found something on the list, but you don't want to touch the hand. You start to carry the box away from the closet, but Nick stops you.
The list says one bone from a human hand, not the whole hand, he reminds you.
His reptile tongue darts in and out of his mouth. You stare down at the hand. One bone. Rattle over to page 67. You need only one bone. You take a deep breath and grab hold of the skeleton hand. The yellowed fingers feel icy cold. You grasp the pinky and twist. It comes loose with a sickening snap. You drop it in your pocket and try not to think about it too much. You glance at the list again. Now all you have to do is find 3 other items. 3 hairs from a werewolf, a straw from a witch's broom, and a piece from a mummy's bandage. The faster the better, you think. You dart out of the kitchen and return to the dining room. Psst, psst. You gaze around nervously. Over here, Debbie whispers from a shadowy corner. To find out what Debbie wants, go to page 6. Hopefully she doesn't arachne you in the nuts. That was bad. Debbie is standing by herself in the corner. You figure Nick and Connor must still be in the kitchen. You approach cautiously. Do you really think this scavenger hunt is for real? She asks, glancing toward the kitchen. Yeah, you say. You guys promised that. You'll let me go if I find the items by midnight. Debbie starts laughing, a hideous cackling laugh. Fool, she cries. It's a joke. You're never going to make it out. You don't know whether to believe her or not. What do you mean, you ask? Debbie slithers closer. I'm on your side, she whispers. I used to be a regular kid like you. Then I joined the horror club. Now look what's happened to me. You stare in amazement at Debbie's hideous monster face. Is she for real? Was she really once a kid like you? I want to help you, she says. If you follow me, I'll help you escape. If you think Debbie is telling the truth, follow her to page 86. If you think it's best to continue the hunt, turn to page 16. I mean, I guess my instincts were correct on that one, but I'm not so sure I believe her. She kind of like did a little show for the other monsters a second ago. It's difficult to tell what she wants.
16. I got a 16.
Best to continue the hunt. F. Debbie. Yeah. So that means 16. Okay. All right. If you think Debbie's telling the truth, follow her on page 86. If you think it's best to continue the hunt, turn to page 16. And the star. Let's see. Baphomet, white. Baphomet, white. It's a trap! Turn to page 16. 16. Never trust a friggin' hair chewer. Alright. I'm going to page 16. Wherever that is. No offense, you tell Debbie, but I'm going to continue the scavenger hunt. For a moment, Debbie only stares at you. Then her purple skin begins to grow darker. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and darker. How dare you doubt me, she cries. Is this the thanks I get for trying to help? She raises her arms. Now you see that she has very long and very sharp claws. She lunges for you. You leap back, trying to decide which direction to run when something goes splat right on your neck. You reach up and feel prickly hair and legs and a warm, round body. There's a tarantula on your neck. The creature's legs dig into your skin like sharp needles. It begins to nibble. You scream and flick it to the ground. Debbie laughs. She reaches for another deadly spider. But you spot a dark hall and race down it. Debbie and tarantulas follow. You run and find yourself standing in front of 2 doors. One is painted orange and the other painted green. Pick a door quickly before you're eaten alive by the tarantulas. If you choose the orange door, go to page 126. If you choose the green door, go to page 43. Let's see. Maybe we'll do one more. One more of the mysterious sigils of destiny. I put them up in my temple and try to suck it within my own mind, picturing it, trying to send it out to you, broadcasting it, hitting you with some badass telepathy. Oh my god, I'm silly. But it doesn't matter because the symbol is there. Can you see it? Will you see it? Must you see it? Can you see it? Okay. Green and a 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 green. It's unanimous. We going to 43. You pull open the green door. You find yourself back in the living room. This house is like a never-ending maze, you think. You glance behind you. No sign of Debbie, Nick, or Connor. You check your watch. It's 10:50 p.m. You have only a little over an hour before you turn into a monster. You're trying to decide what to do next when you hear a strange noise. Thump, thump, scrape. Noise grows louder and louder. Thump, thump, scrape. You slowly turn and find yourself staring at a mummy. A 6-foot-tall mummy wrapped in old, yellowed bandages that are starting to unravel. Its eyeless, mouthless, bandaged face seems to stare back at you. A sour smell invades your nostrils, a smell of decay, of rotting flesh, of death. You gag and hold your nose. Then the mummy turns stiffly and disappears down a hallway. You don't want to follow it, but you need mummy bandages for the scavenger hunt. You have to follow it. You have no choice.
Marilyn Chambers, what?
Oh, that makes sense. I saw her in a Cronenberg film, I think. I can't believe there's a real mummy in this house, you think to yourself as you chase him down. Hey man. You're assuming gender. Blabbity blow.
This is the 90s, man.
This is the 90s.
Or 2000.
2000. No, it's 95. You chase him down hallway after dark hallway. The mummy turns a corner. You're about to turn to when you hear familiar voices behind a pink door. You peek through a crack in the door and spot Nick, Connor, and Debbie. They seem to be talking about you. The monsters obviously don't know you're there. Should you stop and listen? Maybe you'll hear something that'll help you escape. Or is it better to follow the mummy? This is stupid. I don't agree with this guy's reasoning at all. I guess that you have to have some choices and no, I don't subscribe to that. Well, he's a kid. I don't subscribe to that shit at all. Kids know the right thing to do. To eavesdrop, turn to page 65. To follow the mummy, turn to page 94. I mean, who cares what these guys say? Debbie has already said something out loud to trick you. Why would you think that eavesdropping would help your plight?
Oh, like to find something.
I mean, I guess it's a possibility. But the plus sign. What a cross! How do you choose to see this sign? This is what was in my head. 65. He's nosy.
Get that fucking mummy.
Fuck them. Oh boy. Hernandez! Oh my god. My dreams have come true. 65. Oh, he's just being a rogue. 94. I guess. I think it's a tie. Am I counting up right? I think I'm counting up right. The mummy is 94. Yeah. 94 is winning. We're going to 94.
Going after that damn mummy.
You hurry down the hall after the mummy. There's not much time. You still need 3 more items for the scavenger hunt, but there doesn't seem to be any other way to get out of Batwing Hall. As you continue, the putrid smell grows stronger. Then at the end of the hall, you see a beautiful gold mummy case. And leaning against the wall beside it is a mummy. The mummy's head rests on the case. Strange snorting noises come from under its bandages. With a start, you realize that the noises are snores. The mummy's asleep. You know that a piece of mummy's bandage is on the list, but what's the best way to get one? You spot some torn pieces of bandage inside the mummy case. Should you take a piece from there, or should you try to pull a strip from the sleeping mummy? Either way, you better hurry. It's less than an hour before midnight. Okay, I would say that...
It's actually only 30 minutes.
Wah, wah.
They couldn't hear me.
He said it's actually only 30 minutes before midnight.
On the other camera.
Let's see. 117 to take a piece of bandage from the case. 39 to take one off of the mummy. They've been sticklers before. So you could take the piece. I'm surprised they don't give you the option of taking both, but
I would do just. I need them both.
because I mean,
What if the one that's just sitting there is not a part of the mummy?
what if a bandage that's inside the sarcophagus isn't part of a mummy?
Yep, it's from Dracula.
I guess it's possible. Mr. Gully's no fool. He's saying take a piece of bandage out of the case. Stop messing around with that Tutankhamun, Nefertiri, Hatshepsut. I think I'm saying that right. Oh, Andrew, you clever bastard, she says. Mummy, 39. 114. There is no 114. 117 or 39? I'm going to assume you meant 117. Out of the case. Place your bets. Place your bets. Take a piece from the bandage from the case. Turn to page 117 or tear a strip off the mummy. Sneak over to page 39. Going for the case. A lot of people were playing it safe, but not Emily. She wants to touch that mummy.
Drinking nothing.
Yes. The pop of the cosmos. Okay. 117.
Exactly what it is.
You decide to take a piece of bandage from the mummy case. You tiptoe towards the case. You hold your breath as you pass the sleeping mummy. You know it would be disastrous to wake him. You spot a torn piece of yellowed bandage caught in a crack in the bottom of the case. Don't pull a bandage out of a crack! You bend over. Your fingers wrap around the fabric, and a bony hand smashes through the bottom of the case and grabs your wrist. Ah! You scream as you try to wrench free. But the hand has an iron grip. It's pulling you into the mummy case. You kick wildly. You scream and scream, but it's no use. You're in the mummy case now, and then the lid slams shut. Your chest tightens. You begin to sweat. The little bit of air in the case is hot and stale. I'm going to suffocate, you think. You bang frantically on the lid of the case. Sorry, what? She said, damn right, book can drinker. Sorry, that just hit me in the right way. Help, you cry, help! But you know there's no way the three monsters are going to save you. You pound on the lid again, and to your surprise, it opens. Holy shit. As the mummy lid creaks open, you bolt up. Everything looks different. You're not in the upstairs hall. You're not... Okay, that was weird. You're not in the upstairs hall of Batwing Hall anymore. That's for sure. You jump out of the case and stare some more. You're standing in a long corridor with walls made of stone. It's cold in here, and you shiver as a chill runs down your spine. At the end of the corridor, you spot a door. You begin to walk toward it when you hear strange voices chanting. The words bounce off the stone walls and echo loudly in your ears. Imhotep. Imhotep. No, not quite. That's what I heard in my head, though.
Tom said it too.
Did he?
Earlier.
Yeah. Well, kind of. Imhotep. Damn it. And then through the door, a long line of black-haired men in long white robes march in. Their eyes seem to cut right through you as they grow nearer, chanting. The same spooky verse over and over. You're going to get your tongue cut out and your brain ripped out of your nose with a coat hook. What's going on, you demand? Where am I? Of course you speak English. But the men don't answer you. They form a circle around you and slowly move in. Closer and closer. Your heart pounds wildly as the chanting men surround you. Halt! A deep, gravelly voice calls out. A tall, white-bearded man dressed in long blue robes has magically appeared behind you. He's holding a clay tray with pots and jars and some creepy instruments you've never seen before. Who are you? You cry. What's happening? I am the wizard, the man says. You are in the palace of Ramalama, an unimportant Egyptian king. He points to the chanting men. These are the king's priests, and legend decrees that anyone who enters these chambers must be turned into a mummy. Mummy? You cry. But I came here by accident. No matter, scoffs the wizard. Prepare to be mummified. Wait, you plead. You give the wizard your most pathetic look. He takes pity on you. I will give you one chance to escape, he declares. The wizard sets the tray down. He reaches into his robe and pulls out 2 stones. In his right hand is a glowing red stone. In his left hand is a dull gray rock. One stone is an enchanted stone, he explains. It will return you to where you came from. The other stone is an ordinary rock. Pick one. If you choose the red stone. Oh, for real. I thought for sure it was going to say Ramalama Ding Dong. Let's see. Redstone. Turn to page 84. If you want the glowing red stone. If you prefer the gray rock, go to page 34. This sounds like that Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade choice to me. So, hey, who's to say? Donovan and Paul are both going for the drab gray rock. They probably got something going there. But you never know. One could be the gem of eternity. And the other could be the gravel of the gods. Okay. I'm waiting for one more choice. Just like the Grail. Yes, Steve's on the right track. Okay, so we are going to 34. Hopefully with our tongue and our brain still intact. And our guts not in canoptic jars. I'll take the gray rock, you tell the wizard. You figure the glowing red stone is too obvious. It must be a trick. He drops the gray rock in your hand. You close your eyes. Home, you think. Take me home. You open your eyes. Nothing happens. The wizard lifts an instrument from the tray. It's long and shiny and comes to a razor-sharp point at one end. Wait, you cry, wait! There's no way anyone is going to make a mummy out of me, you decide. Your eyes dart around the corridor. You spot a small door at the other end. You charge through the circle of priests and barge through the door. Oh, wow! You're standing in a room the size of a football field. Its floors are made with gleaming pink marble. The walls sparkle with real gold and jeweled lamps hang from the ceiling. A large throne stands at the far end of the room, and on it sits a very old man with a short gray beard and a crown of golden leaves perched on his head. Surrounding him are a dozen bare-chested men gripping spears. The old man must be King Ramalama, you realize. Then you hear the priest pounding footsteps behind you. Terrified, you cry out to the king, "Help!" Will the king help you? Find out on page 52. This guy's going to feed you to the fucking hyenas. Before the king can speak, one of the priests throws his arms around your throat. "Come with me!" he snarls. "Stop!" the king orders before the priest can drag you too far. "Who are you?" "I'm just a kid," you try to explain. "I don't know how I got here, but I really want to go home." "Let the intruder go," the king orders the priest. Then he turns to you. "I don't know how to help you return," he admits. "But I like you. And I would be honored if you would agree to stay here with me." You don't know what to do. Should you stay with the king or leave the palace? Are you stupid? Even if you're like, I don't know, the hand servant of the king. Even if you're just some kind of jester or whatever. That's gotta be a better life than the one you're living. If you accept the king's offer, turn to page 24. If you decide to leave the palace, turn to page 89. I mean, come on now. This is like Time Bandits type shit. He already said he likes you. I mean, I guess that King's favor is fickle at best. He could change his mind at a moment's notice when you, like, accidentally mention Facebook to him. He just, like, cleave you in twain. Have somebody, like, come out with some gigantic curved golden scimitar. Okay, if you decide to accept the king's offer to be his hand bitch or whatever, turn to page 24. If you decide to leave the palace and strike out on your own, possibly to follow in a Stargate, what have you, turn to page 89. 1. Stay with the king. I mean, everybody's with it, yeah. I mean, he could, like, say, he bores me. Tear his brains out. He likes you equals kinda rapey. Don't sell this guy short. He's very rapey. But so far, you guys like the sound of sand in your buttocks. The clock's ticking away. The sands of the hour. What's that now?
It's gonna be like Beetlejuice when you open up the door.
It's gonna be like Beetlejuice when you open up the door. I'm not so sure I know what you mean by that.
When they go to leave, it's nothing but sand. And
Oh, like the sandworm things, yeah.
make you stay there.
I totally recommend anyone. I'm kind of surprised that they haven't done like a full-blown documentary on it yet. But the story behind the story of Beetlejuice is just fascinating. It's fascinating. If you have the time, look around on the internet for like the true story of the how Beetlejuice came to be. It is really something. And somewhere out there, I think I downloaded it. I can't remember now. There's actually like the original script of Beetlejuice. It is like way, way different. Okay, I guess that we're accepting the king's offer. 24. You will be known. Okay, tell the Egyptian king, I'll stay. Wonderful, the king exclaims. He steps down from his throne. Follow me, he says. Wait, what? You stick your tongue out at the priest. I don't understand. I'll stay. Wonderful. Follow me, he says. You stick your tongue out at the priest. Then you turn and follow the king from the throne room down a long hallway into a small room.
You're like, nah.
Why the... Oh, at the... Okay, all right, sorry. At the priest. Okay. Sorry. I totally, like, misunderstood what was happening there. Okay, cool. Then you turn and follow the king. The room has dark marble walls and a low stone ceiling. In the center of the room is a stone table. Your legs begin to tremble when you see what rests on the top. The tray with the strange instruments. The mummy-making instruments. Lie down on the table, the king commands you. But you said I was going to stay with you. Oh. That's right, the king agrees. But I am old. I will die soon. And I want to bring you to the afterlife with me. You need to be mummified now. The king calls for his priests. They dash in and strap you to the cold table. You kick and yell, but no one pays attention. They're too busy preparing the bandages. Your bandages. One priest holds 2 instruments over your head. They look like a long, skinny hook and a long, skinny spoon. Man, he's really... This is what it's all about. He wasn't bullshitting with his description. What are you going to do? You cry. Well, fucking, what do you think? The king points to the instruments. First, we need to remove your brain. My brain, you screech. Yes, the king says calmly. The skinny hook is pushed up your nose until it reaches your brain. Then we wiggle the hook back and forth, to make your brain mushy. You break out in a cold sweat. Your heart hammers away in your chest as the king continues to explain. Then we take the long spoon, slide it up your nose, and scoop your brain out, a little bit at a time. Your stomach feels like it's about to heave. No, this can't be happening to me, you think. You flail about wildly, trying to escape. Now, don't make a fuss, the king says. It is a great honor. Then the king nods to the priest as they begin to unroll the bandages. Too bad. It looks as if this time you've gotten yourself a little too wrapped up in your adventure. The end. Fucking A! Thank you so much to Josh DeForge. This was an awesome one. I'm wondering if the trick is to get the earlier ones. But, okay, I don't want to discount that one just because, you know.
I think it's because it was the internet.
I think that was it. Yeah, that one had to do with the internet. And it was just kind of like, well, we're going to this VR room and da-da-da. And it seemed like the monsters were few and far between. Yeah, this was great. Because it had a lot of choices. It had a lot of movements through the book. There are some of these where you get in, it's like, you're on page 1, then go to page 2, then go to page 3, then go to page 4, then go to page 15, then go to page 16, then go to page 17. It seems like when you have a lot of movement with no choices, it never leads to a good thing. And this was totally awesome, totally unexpected. I mean, yeah, Emily, I totally, like, I didn't even put the poll out because I was so disappointed that we didn't get the backcountry. And I thought for sure it's kind of like false advertisement, really, if you think about it, because it's got the bat, like,
It says Bat Hall.
Batwing Hall, but I mean, it's like front and center. There's no question about it. You got this gigantic bat. But then again, I mean, this was totally cool because I didn't even read the back of this thing. I wanted to go in so cold. I didn't even read the back. If I had read the back, I would have known what we were in for. But I didn't, and it was totally awesome. Action-packed, menace everywhere, no friends, all foes. It was great. And this is definitely one, I'm almost tempted to keep this one around and do a part 2 sometime. Because there's a lot more to be happening in this. Because you still, I mean, we didn't get any further than the bone. I mean, I guess we got the bone and the mummy. But what was it was the werewolves and the human bone, mummy, werewolf. What was the other one? Was there another one? I thought there was.
I don't know. Maybe you needed that.
Yeah. Oh, straw from witch's broom. So there's a witch in here somewhere. So that could be good stuff. So maybe I'll set this aside and recycle it sometime. There's actually a couple of books that I did near the very beginning of the non-entry episodes that I thought about maybe getting back to, and they were by the writer of the Marvel Groot series, and or he had done a Groot book, and he did the Adventure Time comic, and he did. You remember that one? He had made this Hamlet, Choose Your Own Adventure, and Romeo and Juliet. I don't think I went back to it. I wanted to. I don't think I went back to it, though. But there was a Hamlet one and a Romeo and Juliet, and I did both. And I would imagine that by now, it'd be great to have a Macbeth. That would be one I would love to do. But so far, I would have to say that the Goosebumps books above all other books so far. Choose Your Own Adventure, Twist a Plot, Find Your Fate. We've done a bunch of different kinds of... Lone Wolf, kind of like... I mean, Lone Wolf was a bit different. Because Lone Wolf, like, really goes into, like, RPG territory and stuff. So, and besides, I sold it to Pointless Paul. But, so far, the Goosebumps have been the ones that have had the most choices. It's had a real dark turns. There have been a lot of stuff where, you know, it stayed, like, tongue-in-cheek and all this kind of stuff. And next thing you know... Not only are you dead, you're like stuck in some sort of limbo where you like you stay this like breathless, you know, thing. There was something where turned into this like land of darkness, and you weren't dead, but you were stuck there for eons or something. It was great, really super cosmic. But okay, yeah, that was Goosebumps, Reader Beware, You Choose a Scare, number 3, Trapped in Batwing Hall. Total surprise, because I tried to go in totally cold, and it was a pleasant surprise. I had a blast with that one, and I love doing the voices anyway. I'm sure you can tell. But yeah, so even though I should have, I haven't quite picked what the next entry episode is going to be focused on. But I have a couple of contenders. I recently started rereading the Bureau 13 books, and they're based off of, I guess you call it an RPG? I can't remember if it's exactly considered that, but the books ended up being pretty good, and they kind of, another series is kind of taking on the same thing, called Monster Hunter International by Korea. I kind of get them mixed up sometimes, because Bureau 13 is done by Nick Collada, and Monster Hunter International is done by Larry Correia. And they're awesome. Both of them are awesome. I think that Larry Correia with the Monster Hunter Internationals, I've seen a lot of comments saying that he really knows his weaponry and his military jargon and technique and all this kind of stuff. I wouldn't know, but those are really great. And the Colladas, Nick Collada's Bureau 13, they ended up, the first one was called Bureau 13 at first, and then they called it Judgment Night, and then Full Moon Stir and all this stuff. But I haven't decided yet. I usually read a few things at a time. And let's see. Yeah, that's a good question. So is it Monday or Thursday next week?
Monday. Everything is normal.
Okay, so everything's going back to normal.
We're just filming this week.
Yeah, it was okay, so I thought it was all month. Or for like the next few weeks. Okay. So, can I tell him what it was?
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, so Andrew was out of town filming Stranded.
No.
Or, sorry, my mistake. DFITW 2. For, if the kiddies are in the room, it's Don't Fuck in the Woods Part 2. So he was out of town filming that for Concept Media. So I guess it was just this one time. So should be back on Monday. Oh my God. I guess it doesn't let me a whole lot of time, does it?
I mean, we can go Thursday. That's fine.
How about I'll let you know. I'll let you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I honestly thought I didn't even think about that. I thought that it was gonna be a few weeks of filming. So I just kind of assumed that it was gonna be Thursday. So that's quite a challenge. But not to say that I couldn't do it in that amount of time. I have done before many times, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I come up with for that. If I have, I'm kind of tempted to do John Dies at the End, but there was a little bit of a parallel and a bit of a larger talk that I wanted to do with that I might wait. I might wait until like post Black Books meeting for that one. But okay, so do not miss your chance to be at Legends Bar and Venue tomorrow night at 8, Harrison Avenue in Cheviot, because Emily, this might excite you. I was under the impression you were already going to be there, but apparently, unless something falls through, the incomparable Andrew will be on site, lending his technical expertise and flair to the proceedings. So this is going to be massive. This is going to be massive. Everybody who's anybody is going to be there for this. And I'm really starting to think I'm going to need to tie a couple on at this thing, because it's going to be insanity. Legends Bar and Venue, 8 p.m. in Cheviot is going to be the live, the sophomore attempt at the Improvised Story live Choose Your Own Adventure show at Legends Bar and Venue. And it's going to be crazy. There have been a few themes batted around, but I don't want to talk about them because it'll be much more fun. to for you guys to discover what's going to happen until you get there. And since it's completely improvised, it is hard telling what is going to occur. So definitely be there. I know I will. And thanks for everybody who showed up tonight. I couldn't attempt to go through everyone's names, but we had some newcomers. And Steven, thank you so much for coming out. If you had been here before, I don't think that you have. So thanks for coming out and checking it out. I do the non-entry episodes usually every other week. So it's funny, man. I guess that this is 16. I guess we're creeping up on 40 episodes now. Even though it doesn't go from like 1 to 40. Each entry has a non-entry. So I've also had, I think I've had kind of like 2 interviews and a few supplemental episodes. So I don't know. This is pretty crazy. You know, I see. When did Juice hit their 100?
Forever ago.
I think it hit. They're probably on like 300th episode.
They're probably at 150 probably right now.
Shit. Emily's saying she's not going to try to she's going to promise not to fangirl too heavy. Yeah. We'll see about that. Did you get those t-shirts made up?
Which ones?
Oh. I thought we talked about that. Yeah. You were going to get the t-shirt made up. No, that said Andrew's back there. Or something.
Huh?
And just because Andrew says so. I can't remember. We had talked
talking about to them, not to me.
No, we were anyway. I was talking Adam that I think that we should do you know, like Wilson from Home Improvement.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it'd be cool to have like a laptop and like you just see your nose and eyes like above the laptop, so you'd be like the Wilson of DI. But yeah, definitely make it out to Legends Bar and Venue. I'm going to bring as many stickers as I have for every facet of everything. So be there, and it's going to be an indelible memory. That's one thing I can guarantee, is that you will never, ever forget this show. Either way it goes, I mean, we definitely, I keep telling everybody to show up, because if we don't have that many people show up, I don't know how we're getting out of jail. So it's just something to consider. So beware your human heart. This has been the Diabolical Index non-entry episode number 16. Goosebumps, Reader Beware, You Choose a Scare number 3, Trapped at Batwing Hall. It was a great one. I really, really enjoyed this. So make sure you make it out. I'll keep in touch about which day we're going to do for the normal entry episode. And until then, keep it squirrely. squirrel was magic.